we're here. Woo! We have made it. Let me check the volumes on everything and make sure we got at least some stuff going on over on the YouTube side.
Yeah.
It works.
Woo.
How's everybody doing this Sunday morning?
Oh, goodness. I didn't sleep all that much last night. So I went to bed at 5. I woke up at 8. And like 5 in the morning and then 8 in the morning.
Oh.
So, hopefully I'll have a nap later. Get ready to go up.
Bacon, Denver omelet scramble, and chocolate chip pancakes. I want a plate too. Load us up.
Ham and bell pepper, and then you can put cheese on it.
Oh, this isn't good. Hope you get a nap. Yes. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been kind of up and down all night, but it's gotten to be a normal thing for me. So I've gotten used to it. Maggie in the house with the food teas. Absolutely. Yes, please. We've got a little local spot that's open for breakfast and up through, I think, 2 p.m. lunch. And I'm tempted to get something from there too. Haven't had anything in a while.
Thinking about IHOP after the podcast. We'll see.
It's been a while since I've gone to IHOP too.
Mama Maggie talking about omelets. I'm like, I think I need some omelets in my life.
Peggy youngest's 21st birthday, so gotta have the big family meal. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Big family meal. 14 people. Hey, old cat.
How you doing, Cat? Lauren, lurking in coffee and morning. Yay! Well, we were talking about on our chat different things to get into this morning, and one of the things that kept coming up was blurbs. So let me see if I can pop up the text for that.
Yeah,
we'll
let me
first
see if
it's
I
not
can pick up my
controversial.
notes from.
So if you have any other questions, be sure to put them in chat with a Q in front of it so that we see it and don't skip over it accidentally. But this one was, how do you define a blurb? What is your approach to blurbs? And do you use keywords? What's acceptable? So both Sako and I, we do blurbing on the side, and we help out people, and we do
I do my
presentations about
own.
blurbs.
Yeah.
She does her own, I do my own. So I think that that's a perfect question for today.
Where are my notes? Lighting. Blurbs.
Flatmate went to the market and got tamales. Ooh, for breakfast. Yum. Everybody's talking about breakfast. They're getting me hungry.
Get me hungry.
TDM
and I
came home
normally
to
don't break my
surprise little
fast
sister.
until like 3.
Cat's currently planning Crochet 101. Yes. I want to try that because I have PTSD from trying to learn from my mother. So I want to try.
My mother, yeah.
It's the equivalent of a Gen Xer looking at you going, no, 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 I had to hold the flashlight for my dad. It's it was that bad. So I always wanted to try it. And if Kat's coming up with Crochet 101, I'm willing to try it. So Shirley and Jen are recouping from their trip. Went to
Yeah.
Portland, I think. And then um and then Dawn is here in North Carolina. She and her hubby and bestie drove all the way from the backside of Texas here for Festival of Legends. So that
Oh, cool.
answer number one, the hodgepodge I scrawl that may or may not make sense to anyone is, is Maggie's answer to question number one. Um, yeah, which is how do you define a blurb? What is your approach to blurbs? How do you use keywords? And what is acceptable? So I'm gonna let
Oh, okay. Here we go. How do you define a blurb? I define a blurb as a teaser for your content.
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh, be it um, be it for you as a person, be it for the back of the book, be it for the listing on the website. It's not always the same content. Goodreads.
There are just different types, because you got to have your description for your books on all your platforms, and those can be a bit longer. You can have additional information on them, but it's essentially the same thing. You're given a teaser for what's in the book. And by teaser, we mean
Yes.
teaser, not
Shirley
telling
does.
you absolutely everything that's in the book.
Yes. Shirley does the same thing I do. The start of the snowflake method.
Explain that.
Okay, so I make my blurb before I start writing. And the way that the snowflake method does it, it's your three plot points, your inciting incident, your climax, and your epilogue. And um, so I write all of that out. And of course, there are certain things that you do when, like, for instance, when you do your setting and your inciting incident, no names unless they're in parentheses. Um, and that helps me stay on track when I'm writing, when I'm at, like, picking the beats and outlining and stuff.
All right. So my approach to a blurb has been, well, and so I guess I should explain that. First of all, a lot of my stuff is discovery writing, or it's already written. We wrote this stuff 20 years ago. It's been 20 years in writing and writing and writing, and we're turning stuff that we wrote for a hobby into our published works. And also, a lot of times I will come up with ideas and might write an outline for it, I might not. So I kind of just am really what I usually do for things is I come up with a formula and then I just kind of go by that formula. So
Yeah.
I usually want to use a tagline at the top, and then
Yeah,
I
me
want to
too.
describe your characters. But briefly, I mean, again, to me, all of this should be brief because you don't want to give away too much stuff, but you want to say something important about your main character. If you've got a secondary character, that character. Um, if you want, excuse me, the antagonist or the antagonistic society slash world, that they're
What is
in.
the conflict?
What's
Yeah.
the conflict? And usually all the way up to the inciting incident, because that's that question, that whole, this is what happens when such and such happens, kind of thing. Like you've got character one, character two, what's going on, and then boom, this happens. What are they gonna? And then your questions are, what are they gonna do about that? And I go into, especially when it comes to adventure, kind of, if there's an adventure involved in my book,
Hmm.
I go into the worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario? And then I kind of want to ask, on the back side of that blurb, I want to ask, what would happen if this? Will they succeed, or will this happen, because it's the worst case scenario? And so
Yeah.
then it's like that little hook. Um, and then if there's going to be a series, that's when I'll put like a separator on the description. You don't do this on the back of the book all the time, but on my series books, I did do this. Um, a little encapsulation of what the books are, and that's where I put keywords. Since keywords were that was a question, I like,
Keywords, yeah,
yeah,
for the listing and
because
for
then
the
you're coming out of your blurb, you're coming out of the description, and you're going into real life, like, um, Doppelgangers and Deceit is book one of the Dragon Tasker series, thrilling urban fantasy with paranormal romance, and that's where that kind of wording goes at the end.
yeah, I my notes for my class that I'm teaching in autumn, uh the first sentence is you set the story, describe the character, what is normal life, no names at first. And then second, write your inciting incident. Third, write a major plot point, then what they must do because of it. And fourth, ask a question about what will happen in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's another big thing. Names. So
names.
I only use names. I only drop names on mine because it's just a normal, kind of a normal thing for urban fantasy.
Yeah.
But I've seen people, especially in further books, that they drop names as if we should know, as a reader, as if we should know these people.
Hmm.
And be careful of that, because they don't. They need to know, like, what that person is, or how important the person is, but they may not know a name. You know, Does
Uh,
that make sense?
I
Can you word
started.
that better?
I started the Laurel K. Hamilton Anita Blake series by book 3, and then I went back to book 1, 2,
Right.
3 again, 4, and
I started with
the
Micah because that cover, man.
I got into it in the 90s, so the covers have changed over the years.
Have.
Yeah. Um Philip of the Many Scars. I didn't know who Philip was, or Edward, or any of that. So um I had to go back to book 1 to learn who that is. But she does like a little reminder, like a excerpt from the first book in the third book,
Mhm.
uh, of what happened to Philip and who he was.
And like a lot of authors who are, once they get more well known, they're putting up like portions of reviews on the back of their book. They're putting up
I'm
their
working on that
rewards,
myself. Yeah.
their awards and stuff on the back of the book, and even in the blurb section, because their books have become well enough known that they don't actually do a blurb there. But I still feel like that's, especially if it's a hardback book, it's going to be in the dust jacket, so you're still going to need the blurb and everything.
Hmm.
Um, what annoys me with that as a reader is that I'm like, cool, you've got all these awards and stuff. That's awesome. But I want to know what
What
this
is
book's
this
about.
book about? Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I run into the same issue for sure.
So,
The series blurb. Um, it's that elevator pitch. So if you could sum up your series in one sentence, like how would you go about doing that?
mhm.
Yeah.
What the reader can expect to get out of the book, right? To be honest, I try to turn my elevator pitch into a blurb. I I have to
That's
came up with my elevator pitch secondary for the Dragon Tasker series,
me too. After I wrote the book, then I'll do it.
which I write after the 0 draft, then write a new one after the final draft with the idea. Oh, yeah, that I don't know
Yeah,
my
me
own book.
too.
That's a good way to do it, is pretend you don't know anything about your book, come up with your elevator pitch, because you know too much about your stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody else out there doesn't.
So
It's like with
I
a
talk.
dragon tasker. Tasker, most people don't know what that is. So in my elevator pitch, I made sure that I don't use the word tasker so much as I use special operative for the supernatural society,
Yeah.
which people get that.
Yeah.
That about my blurbs.
Oh, content warnings. Oh. Hmm.
You're here for
Ah,
real, Ava.
welcome
Yay.
back. Welcome back.
Okay, so it's because I just what I was told to do with series blurbs. Okay. Is that no longer true?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, she's bad about her blurbs in her series, referring to the characters as familiar. Oh yeah, but you also you relate them to what they are in the book. Does that make sense? Like when I've read your blurbs, it's like, oh, I may not recognize this character if I were a new reader, but I recognize that they are a ruler, that they are a
Mhm.
general, that they are,
Yeah.
like that. I never read those recommendations in once. I'm one of those people. I'm like, that's impressive, cool, but give
It
me
depends on who's making the recommendation, who the award is from for me.
so Eva says it's a summary that lets the reader know if this is their target read or not. Yep.
Mm.
I don't care about your rewards. I want to know. I want to know whether I want to buy the book or not, you know. But yeah, that's a good point. Like if it's another author that I recognize and I like their work and they're actually giving kudos to this other author. Stephen King's really bad about that. Not
Yes,
bad,
he is.
good, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I won't buy a book like that when it doesn't have a blurb anywhere on the in the front matter. Okay. It should give away genre, premise, and content warnings without saying any of those words. Yeah, it's that magic balance.
Uh, Reference the genre and the central theme. Create intrigue around the main conflict. Dive right in and introduce your protagonist, and keep it short and punchy. And I don't know if I'm speaking from a horror standpoint, but we like our sentences to be economic. Like
Mhm.
we 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 like it short and the most punch that you can offer in so few words.
And there's been some upheaval too in I don't know if it's book talk or some of the one of the other ones. There's usually upheaval in book talk, so um, about whether or not a blurb and the genre mentioned was enough when it came to a certain person's book, because there was a review left stating that they were upset about there not being a specific trigger warning. Um,
Mm.
Generally speaking, though, I
I
mean,
would
I
put
do,
it in the front matter.
yeah, that's front matter thing. That is not a blurb thing for me.
That's
And
not a blurb thing for me.
also, I will generalize. I have an author's note is what I call it in the front matter, and I will generalize about what to expect. And if there's something specific, like there's a specific scene in book 4 that goes a little bit further than would be normal, so I actually mentioned that part. But like if there's like a book that is grimdark romance or something like that,
Right.
or it's like that genre speaks for itself, that it's going to be kind of wild and dark,
Mm-hmm.
violent. So I feel like sometimes the genre speaks for itself, and then the author can go in and if they want to go further than that, then sure, but just know that there's going to be dark adult themes in that kind of a genre.
Yeah. What kind of tropes you can expect
Yeah.
to find? Um,
Yeah, they do have a lot of genre. So does Facebook recently, by the way.
yeah.
I think it kind of flows over to Facebook, the drama, letting other readers know what the author left out of things. Define front matter, back matter, etc.
Oh, so front matter would be like your copyright, your publishing house, your trigger warnings, um, any thanks that you might have that isn't a separate
Dedications.
dedications. Um,
If you have a title page, like a fancy one, maps. I like putting maps in the front. Um, I don't know everybody, it's kind of a personal thing. Um, yeah,
back
acknowledgement.
matter would
Back.
be your
Leave a review page is kind of something that I do in the back matter, because it comes right after for me, it comes right after the last page, while they're
mhm.
still happy with the book, hopefully, that review page. Acknowledgements, a
Yeah.
glossary is in the back. Oop, there we go.
Oh.
Um, Trigger warnings in the front for certain ones, actually on the chapter. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's a personal preference. I don't want any
I
reader
don't
to
want a
feel
reader
bad.
to be caught off guard. I want it to be a surprise, but I want them to be able to handle it.
Yeah, that's the reason I do the author's note slash trigger warning up front. I
Yeah,
make sure
me
that it's
too.
on the right hand side if it's a print book, and prominent, because um, I don't know. I want them to know that that's a thing, that that's in the book.
Mhm.
Um, I This may be a hot take, but I feel like the reader has to take some responsibility for reading this book. So if it's a genre that is known for violence, if it's a genre, and then you also decide to overlook the obvious warning page that's there. I mean, I don't know. I feel like, you still have to have some responsibility yourself as a reader. I put it in there, and it's also, part of the genres on the blurb. Sometimes cover doesn't warn us all. Read dark urban fantasy before I knew it was dark. The cover looked cozy. Ooh, that's not good. Now
Yeah,
I would
that
say that's
false advertising.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I get that. Yeah, no, no, no. So
Yeah.
that it would be an author issue. And as indie
Yeah.
authors, you've got to be receptive to feedback and you've got to realize, hey, maybe I did something wrong, and then start
Mhm.
looking into it.
I was looking for supernatural thrillers, and it I went on the highest rated like stuff on Amazon. And yeah, the memoriam page is back matter in my dragon's book. Yeah. And I have links to the other books. Yeah.
I actually put that in my front matter this time.
Oh.
I saw a couple of them in traditional doing that, so I was like, okay, well, you know,
If that's a thing, yeah. Hmm.
try it out. Like being
Yeah,
surprised too, so don't put it where I'll see it without looking for it.
in my opinion. Yeah.
That's my thing. If it's I've got a specific topic and stuff that I don't want to deal with or I don't want to look at, I will go looking for the trigger warnings, or I'll go looking for, just to make sure, hey, this book gets dark, so let me make sure it's not something that I don't want to read.
I need to actually review my Shadow of the Fae, my novelette. Um, because apparently the trauma dumping was heart moving, and there is violence in it, and I should put trigger warnings in the front if I haven't already.
That's a good point. I know that some of my I don't know, I've got such wild names for my chapters though. I'm not sure if it would give a sneak or a hint at all, honestly.
Mm-mm. And even so, like that method would be for like AO3 or Substack, or,
Oh, okay. I didn't
you
think
know,
about that.
the way you pitch your story is different for each platform.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not used
That
to
I've
that.
noticed. That I've noticed.
Yeah, I get
It has
that.
spoiled the chapter. Yeah. Um, the Community show, like the show Community with Joel McHale and Allison Brie and a bunch of other people. Um, they title every episode the name of a class that hints at the plot.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
So it's a teaser for the plot, but it doesn't give anything away. It also makes it hard to remember what episode does what.
But I know that one thing that I do pre-book, what we decided to do, it wasn't a trigger warning so much as we tend to go into a love scene in one chapter, and then the love scene is the next chapter because
Mm-hmm.
our love scenes are spicy, open door. And then if we're
Like
going to introduce anything really, really, really important, we'll wait until after that chapter, which is mainly the love scene. Because I've got a lot of my readers that would prefer to just skip over those and go into
if
it
they
because,
can. Yeah.
yeah. So that's one of the things we were doing it unconscious. I mean, so what do you call it? Unconsciously. We didn't mean to, but it kind of worked out that way. So it made it easier. Uh, yeah, I have listed songs as chapter title.
Mm.
Let me find next thing. I put thanks and acknowledgments in the back. That's what I've been
Yep, me
doing.
too.
Um, Project Lucky is all trauma. When I speak on it, I say content warnings, but if I publish the blurb, will give it away. Yeah, that's why I'm careful on the blurb part. Putting a lot in that. Just consider putting the list in the front like my old Anne McCaffrey's, but then I decided I wanted people to get to see the first chapter in the sample, 10% on ebooks instead of pages of links. Good
Yeah.
point. Good point. I didn't think about that part either. I love that show. Community.
Community. Yeah.
I do name my chapters as I draft to remind me of the scenes. That's what I do, and they wind up sticking usually. So
Usually so the chapter names in the working file are the beats. Like this is the point of the scene, and then like uh that way I can um remember what the point of the chapter is.
what about traffic accident and death, bullying, asking for my work in progress?
I would make a note of it. It depends on who your target audience is.
Yeah. Bullying is a subject unto itself to me. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, like Sako said, if your target audience is a younger audience, that's really important compared to, I don't know, your Gen X audience. Sometimes we're just like, okay, whatever. We knew it was going to have some of this stuff in it when you said adult themes and things, but we're not like other audiences in that we
Mm-hmm.
came up with all of the non-triggers at all listed in books.
I haven't done the synopsis cover
Hmm.
page thing, even though uh, I intend to for this book. Um, but it's going to be a novelette, I think, or a novella.
Ava's also mentioning something that's important is the accident on the page, or
Yeah.
just a piece of history for the character. That's also something important. Like I have one that mentions slavery because one of my characters came from that background, but there's no real, violence or anything like that from that on the page. So
Mm-hmm.
two different things when you think about it. Chapters don't have titles, but they should though. Someone dying in a genre that has death doesn't need a CW death. But if someone is being stabbed for like 13 pages,
That
yeah,
may, yeah.
it may. Yeah. Let me go back up here because I wanted to mention since we've come through blurbs and trigger warnings and keywords and stuff. Keywords are okay, so let me go back to keywords real quick. Keywords are acceptable as long as they work in the blurb or the series blurb at the bottom. But don't make your blurb sound like one of those ads, infomercials on TV, please.
Yeah.
You're trying to force in keywords that That's so tacky to me. It's a pet peeve. Sorry. And I know that we were looking at, we were just talking about other things that were going on. So, Kat's Crochet 101, let me go back to that real quick. Said, goal is to by end have swatches of stitches and functional things like coasters and etc. Because that way you're learning the basics. You're learning I'm thinking if I remember back, learning how to do it to the point that you're not really thinking about doing it. You're just getting used
Yeah,
to it. So that's cool.
that is cool.
The question here, how to get book reviews? How do you guys get book reviews? So that's the question.
Arcs. I do arcs or alphas or betas. I ask them to review it. Because the story is only as good as it is because of the people who helped me along the way. If I'm too close to it, then I can't tell what's wrong with it. But my reviews on Goodreads for Shadow of the Fae and on Amazon are like, I wasn't expecting this book to hit the way it did. And the end is so gratifying and like so I'm gonna include some of those reviews on a new cover when I take it off of Amazon and I figure out where I'm gonna host it next.
Let's see. Do. Going back real quick. Kat was talking about Kat Paul was talking about, oh, okay, weird. I'm weird because I don't do I do scenes and not chapters. Terry Pratchett used to do that. Yeah. So you've had to do it because it's a thing. It's not just a trend now. So
Mm-hmm.
had someone get mad at me because of chapters are of our numbers and Roman numerals in the Spartan Chimera. Well,
Yeah.
that's a style thing. That makes sense to me. But also, okay, I just guess that some people we're not taught Roman numerals anymore because of all
Yeah,
the analog
basically.
clocks and stuff. Yeah. I have a moment. Can I have a moment of silence for cursive and Roman numerals then? Because I really think those are gorgeous, and I hate that they're not taught anymore. My kids were some of the ones that were not taught cursive anymore, and I felt
Mm-hmm.
so bad. But then my youngest came along, was like, I want to learn that, and took it upon themselves to learn cursive, which I was impressed with.
Nice. It's not a dead art.
No,
People who can't read cursive can't read my handwriting. That's how it works out.
yeah, I have a mixture of print and cursive, and so people are like, "What are you trying to do here?" And I'm like, "It's just habit. Like it's just habit, y'all. Sorry." Um,
If you
yeah.
are asking randos to review your book, then yes, they can make it a critique or
A lot of people don't even look at their reviews because of this. Or if it's on Goodreads, a lot of times they won't they won't look at their reviews because
I don't look at the reviews the first day of launch. I will have a friend look at them and then give me the hashtags in front of the keywords. Oh, honey. Moment for the
mhm.
author.
Yeah. Can only leave ratings and not reviews on Amazon. They still can't tell me why. Oh no.
Oh no.
Sucks. Okay, so I think I got caught up again. It's like there was like a bunch of comments that just popped in all of a sudden that was about the other subjects. I wanted to get those covered. So Ava says I only sought reviews for my children's books. They are fast to read. I had one available at an event, sold the in-person copies on hand at a total of 3 reviews, 1 review on 3 platforms.
Uh,
But I feel like sometimes people are just they're so busy that they forget to do the review. They're happy that they got the book done, and then it's like the author standing there going, "But please, more."
but but we're not done yet.
Yes, please. Yeah, I do arcs. And this last time, and just to warn you, if you're doing a series, you're going to get fewer reviews as you go until your series really starts, you know, becoming very, very popular with people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had tons of stuff from the get-go, and then it just kind of trickled down. You could see how many reviews the next book's got because I, it's just a thing. I've been offering book 5 as an arc for a while. I've only had like 2 takers. So I don't really that's my main thing is like I try to keep track of art reviewers, whether it be through my own system or I also use Story Origin. We're in a position, James and I are in a position where we can afford Story Origin and Book Funnel. I feel like Book Funnel is prettier and has its own library app and things like that. So I like that better. Um, but at the same time, Story Origin has a great means of keeping track of your viewers or your beta readers if you get beta readers through there. They have their own little system. So they have pros and cons, both of those systems. But they do cost money. So so if you don't have the money for those, I would suggest putting together a spreadsheet and a Google form. I still use my Google form to try and find people out there who aren't part of that network. Um, and see what happens. But I keep track of them on a spreadsheet because when you do a Google form, you can create a CSV, a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm. That's how I do it. My betas, my I didn't do it for my alphas, which I should have, but the number of people that I am enlisting is only 3, so I don't necessarily need to.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's the reading part that my 2 oldest have trouble with when it comes to cursive, but the youngest learned to do it and read it, so
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. That
Yeah.
is so sad we aren't like that. It's such a pretty people have really pretty handwriting when they try it, so
I also got into handwriting analysis when I was young.
ooh. Tell us about
So,
that. That's interesting.
yeah, so there's a lot you can tell about a person by the way they write,
Is it
which
the
I
pressure or is it the
that is a element that we
okay.
pay attention to for sure is pressure. Also, cap height and versus X height and the
The
kerning, the
roundiness?
letting, um, if it tilts, if it's all caps, if it's like there's all kinds of things that says about a person.
Yeah, that's who I grew up
Uh,
reading.
they are also horror and thriller writers, so it
Well
is
known.
kind of insinuated that you know you are signing the waiver by picking up the book.
You don't know exactly what you're going to get into with King
Right.
because some of those books you're thinking horror and it turns out to be more than that. So you're just like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Just be aware if you don't know that about King. Who stays pretty much on the supernatural thriller slash horror situation though. I used to have a whole
Mm.
collection of his books. Wow. My mom threw those out.
I was mentioning the supernatural thriller that I picked up that was rated really high, and it turned out to be porn. And I was like in the first 10 pages, and I was like, mm-mm, this is not what I signed on for.
Yeah, the what convinced me to start doing an author's note slash trigger warning at the beginning of the book was somebody mentioned the fact that we don't even think about it when it comes to movies, but yet books were fighting it. And I'm just like, oh, well, you got a point there. I was
I,
like, I wonder if it's an indie thing. Amazon don't want us to hit 100 reviews, or they'll have to start promoting our books. Perhaps publishing houses pay a little something and we can't generally.
yeah.
There's a big difference in what people can get away with when they are traditionally published on that platform compared to what indies can get away with, especially
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to terms of service stuff.
Yeah.
Pay attention, you can see the difference. Things that an indie would get slapped on the hand and even have their
Their
credentials
account
revoked,
revoked. Yeah.
but you'll see a traditional publisher or a traditionally published book be able to do exactly that thing. So we don't have the backing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Draft to Digital now charging the $20 account activation fee and $12 yearly maintenance fee?
What?
That was the other thing that I had up here, Maggie. Let me see if I can grab that. What do you think about platforms charging for shelf space when it comes to indie publishing? Because that's basically what they're doing now.
Mm-hmm. I think it's fucked up. We should be supporting each other.
Yep. Um, so I did, I went on Facebook and found out about it. I found it out about it because they finally sent an email, but I found out about it because somebody was reporting on it. They had apparently put it in their blogs before, or their announcement page before they sent any of us emails. And then they sent us emails a little bit at a time instead of everybody at the same time. So people were getting this information a little bit at a time, which to me was not
Kind of
really
sucks.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they explained it by saying that it was to make sure that they weeded out all of the people who were basically opening multiple accounts so that they could get around their checks and balances when it comes to AI publishing, right?
Yep. Yep.
The problem that I had with it was I get that for new accounts if you're going to charge something for a new account, but the $12 maintenance fee is geared toward people who do not make over $100 in royalties per year. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of another kick in the gut to indies who want to go wide that may not have the money for marketing or may not be able to get over that $100 threshold. Doesn't mean that their book is AI. Doesn't mean that their book is trash. It just means that
Didn't that
they don't have.
happen with Shy Girl? I can't remember the name of the book. Um, that was accused of AI, and then it turned out that they didn't use AI to write the book.
That that case has taken on quite an interesting turn because it turns out that the publishing company actually uses AI for editing, and they removed her book for accusations,
Yeah.
and they had not investigated it yet. That's what I've gotten so far, allegedly, from that situation, and I'm like, "Wow.
Wow.
Wow."
How quick we were to cancel
How quick we were to cancel a, um, an
aspiring.
an aspiring writer and a woman
And
of color, right?
mhm.
So I
But
have a feeling
she
Hachette's
writes
gonna be
like AI.
sued.
Like that, which means it's got to be at a 6th grade level.
So, yeah, yeah, I don't like the idea of it, and I think that sets a bad precedent for it. Because if anything, these companies wanna make more money, and if they see that one company can get away with it, then why wouldn't the other companies do this? And this is happening within a month, like, they're only giving you a month to react to it. I can't pull mine because I've got events coming up. If you pull all of your stuff, then you've gotta make sure that you have another platform for them, and you've gotta make sure that you've got everything available. I've got books to read links that I use, and, it's just like a big headache for me, and I've got a bunch of good events coming up. So, I want to be able to use those events to make money, and if my books aren't available wide, then that's up. Let's see. We kinda went into more trigger warning talk over here,
Mm. And content warnings and the difference thereof. And
like that one. The machine
hmm
is working as intended.
hmm
It's made it where I had to choose not to do wide because I can't afford it.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and a lot of people what I guess what made me mad. See, whenever I get mad, that's when you'll see a Facebook post like a mile long because I got mad about something. Was the fact that some people were just so blase blah about it. Like, you know, like it's just this. I don't understand why you're so upset. Well, number one, it sets a precedent.
hmm
What are you going to think when everybody else starts charging for those platforms? And
Right.
number two, not everybody can afford this kind of stuff.
I
So,
can't.
you know, that's not cool. Um, I did do some research, found out that if you do have books to read, you can set up your own account through them. Yes, they are connected to Drafted Digital, but you don't have to use Drafted Digital to have a books to read for your books. The UBLs are separate. Also, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Ingram Spark is doing that. So,
From what I understand, Ingram Spark quality is going down.
the Ingram Spark stuff that James just got from hardbacks is really nice. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Be one off, but yeah, the hardback part, good stuff.
Uh-huh.
Because they also come with the wrap, the dust jacket,
Just
so it
check.
looks good. It's a little bit more difficult to do,
hmm
but it's worth it. I don't know about the other side of it because I've never used Ingram Spark, and the reason I didn't use Ingram Spark is because more than one author had, during my research on who I was going to use, more than one author mentioned that Ingram Spark, their customer service sucked at the time.
Still
They couldn't
does,
get
from what
anything
I
done.
understand. From what I
Uh,
understand, it's 6
on
months
the,
it took Ingram Spark to get back to my friend. And she did children's books, so hardback, you know, 24 pages. And they goofed it. There were misprints,
Mm.
and like a third of the books were unusable.
See, and Shelby Lynn is one that stands out to me. Is one of the authors that had a video about it, talking about she did the same. She had the same situation. Things came from Ingram Spark that were not right, misprint, things like that. She tried to get things corrected, and it took forever for them to get
Ever.
back. And she had a go live, like, or not a go live. What do you call it? A release date already set. So she needed those books for an event, for a release date and everything, and she
A
and she only had
launch.
like half
Yeah.
of the books that were any good, and they were not getting back to
That's
her.
harrowing. That's so
And when
sweet.
you've got, like with Shelby, she's got a really good following. So it's like, she's got fans there waiting. It's almost like having a Kickstarter and not being able to deliver. And it's not your fault. You're trying everything you can. But yep. Um, so is the 22 open an account or for each new book listing? I believe it's to open an account. It is a setup fee for your account. And then if you do not make $100 in royalties, that's not $100 period, it's $100 in your royalties in the next year after setting up the account, then you owe them $12.
That's
And that
lame.
is beginning in May. And that means that from this May 2026 back 1 year, if I had not made over $100 in royalties through Drafted Digital, I owe them $12. And I'm pretty sure I haven't, to be honest, because even in the last year had just flipped over Apple Books and Barnes and Noble because I was doing that myself. And then I got frustrated with them and then checked those boxes on Drafted Digital to let Drafted Digital handle it for a while.
Mm.
So I would say at least half of the stuff that I made off those two platforms don't even count toward Drafted Digital royalties. Um, so there's that. And most authors are making most of their money on KDP. So that's a different royalty. I don't push my books to KDP through Drafted Digital. To me, KDP is so simple that I just go ahead and do that myself so that I get more royalty just directly through that. There's a suspicion that Shy Girl was dropped because it wasn't making sales, but they were making a lot of sales on.
They they were making a lot of sales.
Hmm. So yeah, they're ongoing lawsuits. I mean, I don't blame them because
Mhm.
wow, especially with some of the stuff that's come to light. But that's a whole other topic. um, Tell me what's in it, not what it'll do to someone. I'm triggered by the word trigger due to emotional abuse over my life and won't buy a book with trigger warning. Okay, that's a different take. Valid. That's why I wait for it to come out first. Oh yeah, I can't stand that phrase. Absolutely can't stand that phrase. Most people who use that phrase don't even know what the word means. So,
Uh, Fucking snowflakes.
mm, um, let's see. Yeah, Michael Dawn and you talked about Shy Girl a few weeks ago, and we were both concerned it was a witch hunt. The Stray Dossier had a few different videos about. Yes, And that's
Yeah.
where I got my information from. They did a very good job. So if you want to look those up to get caught up, yeah. Um, there's the content warning stuff going on in the chat. Um, yeah, it's and then when it comes to me, it's like the indie dream of getting picked up by a trad house, and then it turned into a nightmare in 2 weeks. Because
Yeah.
at this point, it's kind of like, well, maybe sales are dropping because of the accusations, because she was dropped. It has nothing to do with that. Let's see.
But
Um,
for book orders, like when you're ordering a box of your books or whatever, or multiple boxes for that matter, the setup fee is what I'm used to dealing with. For posters and cards and whatnot. Um, so I think that's what they're trying to imitate is printers doing a setup fee for the plates, and then um, yeah, I wonder if so. I don't know if they're charging for shelf space so much as dealing with all the things that they offer on top of um, allowing you to publish through them.
my problem with their email was that they made it seem like that they were offsetting the costs in some ways, but also that they were that they were offsetting costs of things that they were already supposedly doing. From what I understood, they were already looking at books and making sure that they were reviewing the books before they went live, things like that. Um, which they tell you that your book is in review and you have to wait until your book is available to begin with. Then they were like, oh, and then they explained what people were doing as a loophole to get around not being able to upload a bunch of books at one time by creating extra accounts. And that's why they were doing the $20 fee. So I
Right.
understood part of it, but at the same time, the other part just seemed like, as somebody put it, a poor tax. And I was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I can't argue that point. So, um, so yeah, make about $200 a year on my 40 books. 99% of my sales are during the 99 cent events and freebie events. I feel you on that one. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of mine are the 99 cents. So, and then now you
I
said that
have
Ingram
to
Sparks
admit,
quality
I have
stinks.
waited until it has gone to loss leader sort of standpoint before I'll actually buy it.
Yeah, you would have to pay to try it now. So, and it also brings up the idea
Yeah,
that
it teeters me too.
how much are they pushing more people toward Amazon? Because they are refusing. Amazon has started offering library services, which was something that Ingram Spark and Drafted Digital could offer that that that
No,
Amazon couldn't offer. Now they can offer it.
yeah,
So they've got that, and they're not charging you to set up an account.
right.
Um, let's see. Hardbacks were interesting thing through Ingram because I did mine without distribution. Yeah, because we were just going to put them in events and stuff. So if you don't have to distribute, you can still get stuff printed for Ingram Spark. That
Yeah.
was I he's doing a whole research thing on Ingram Spark. I went through Drafted Digital at first, so yeah. This is true. Shipping is very high.
Mhm.
And then Shirley Rage quit Ingram Spark when you did your first book, Into the Fire. You were one of the authors that I listened to that you were having trouble with them.
Mhm.
So I was like, maybe not, especially since Drafted Digital basically goes through the same it's all the same thing.
It's all the same thing,
It's all the
yeah.
same thing. So yeah, right there. The pages printed. Oh, okay. So Ingram Spark sample I got had the pages printed in an angle. That's Mama Maggie's report. Um, Eva says I
I'm
haven't gotten bad
wondering,
prints,
yeah,
but you ordered like 50 books total. Um,
from Ingram Spark, yeah.
they aren't perfect, but I own a lot of Amazon printed books, and I'd say they're at least the same quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I skip you a little bit because we're past the 1 hour mark, so I was kind of trying to keep it close to an hour today. Um, so um, Mama Maggie says she hasn't tried Drafted Digital. I had no complaints about Drafted Digital when it came to the print quality at the time. Now, what I have noticed is the coloration, the tinting and stuff is a little different than what you get from Amazon. At the time, I had Amazon send me a bunch of books that had divots in the top spine, or like it looked like somebody had messed up when they were packing things or something like that. And so that made me go with Drafted Digital for a while. But now I've kind of gone backward and I've ordered some stuff from Amazon printing.
Mhm.
Amazon never paid me in 12 years sales there. I just write it off as marketing. Oh, wow. I don't understand that though. Um, I don't understand why. So Eva's asking who writes steamy romance.
Mm.
Um, oh, I see. I prod them every year to add something like donate to charity, but I never hear back.
Yeah.
Oh, TL Russ is the only name I could remember when asked just now. Okay. That is crazy. Um, Print on demand distributors have a mileage will vary. I didn't have any issues with copies from Amazon, but Rach did have some. Yeah, there was some bad copies from Amazon. That's the reason I was like, I'm just gonna order from Drafted Digital for now. It's
I
pretty
watched
bad.
a video where they compared the quality between the three companies, and Ingram Spark was okay, but Drafted Digital was the best of them.
Yeah, I've not had any problems with them. And that's I guess from printing or them printing it and everything coming out right on the inside of the book, and then also the packing and everything and no damage on the outside of the book. The
Mhm.
one time that I had problems with Drafted Digital was that they showed me a preview of my book and I approved it because everything looked fine. But when I received the books, the blurb was actually underneath, part of the blurb was actually underneath the UPC code thing.
Mhm.
And so when I tried to get back in touch with them, I actually copied the screen. I did a screenshot
Mhm.
showing that the preview did not show that. And then when I got in touch with them, suddenly, oh, the preview shows that. No, it didn't. I have a screenshot, but they wouldn't listen to me. So I was like, okay, well, that's strike number one. Customer service. I was told customer service was good, but yeah, that was the only thing. I was gonna ask them to get my money back for those, but once they did whatever they did, I was like, "Nah." Um, here we go. Forgot about that. I ordered from Amazon to test something and could tell a visible difference. I don't remember which was better. They were different. They're different. And then if you order something, if you do your own thing with Barnes and Noble, order from Barnes and Noble and see how different that looks from the other two. It's all about their shading, what tools they use, and what they use when it comes to their printing. And
Mm-hmm.
I've even gotten some back that were glossy and they were supposed to be matte. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Almost seems like a bootleg.
you have a dollar account to be paid. I have one of those. You have 3 years of books with a chartered account and pay 250 USD per year for the privilege.
What the
Huh,
heck?
what is that for? Um, did I miss something here? Yeah.
I feel like I missed something.
Yeah. We may have to get Cat Paw to explain it to us in the chat. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Here. It's the only way I can publish not being in a major English speaking country. Okay. So it's a different type of system, but through the same company. I didn't know that that was a thing. I'm not familiar with it. So, yeah. Yeah, let's organize something. I don't know if that's ever going to happen considering what I see going on Facebook a lot of the time in all these author groups.
Yeah.
Human nature, man. Human nature. Yeah. So, yeah, yeah. We can send you a check and that I can't cash a USA check in Mexico. I tried it once, same bank, and they laughed and laughed. So go home and cash it. I'm not even American. Oh,
Yeah.
indie publishing is not accessible in Mexico, from what I gathered. Yeah, I'm curious about more. That would be something to tell people about the indie publishing situation in different countries.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That would be interesting. Good talk.
all right. Well, I believe that is all of our topics. So, yeah, AWC topic idea there, especially if you get a panel of several authors from different countries.
Yeah.
Because I've heard Esther talk about the challenges that she's had.
Mm-hmm.
So,
She is very vocal about it. Esther is.
and when it comes to money making, you know, your livelihood and also your passion, you should be. It's kind of crazy that they're treating people different. And it's like they can get away with it. That's
Mhm.
that's the big thing. It's like, oh well, we can get away with this. So there we go. Kind of like what Drafted Digital's doing right now. All
Right.
right. Sako, if you want to go ahead and do your outro.
Oh,
And
sure. Howdy, folks. I'm Sako Toomey. I write horror under the name Cass Voight and publish 6 times over. Half of them are self-published and half of them are anthologies and magazines and stuff. Um, if you are interested in all of my creative dealings, you can Google me as Sako Toomey or Psycho Sako, and I'm on Substack talking about all of my creative dealings, and I write about that today. So check me out. Drop a line. I would love to hear from you.
Same here on Substack under Aggressively Helpful Writing Advice. I just recently redid my newsletter for Magic and Mischief through Substack. So feel free to drop notes, comments, anything you want. I've got Sako linked in the description, along with several other things that we're all a part of in this area. And hopefully, we will have another Breaking the Block coming up next weekend. Um, we may be trying that out live, and if we don't get any volunteers to be hosts, but just keep an eye out because I'll make sure to spread the word about how that's going to go. All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful rest of your weekend.